everyone, welcome to our channel Knowledge of Friends. सब्सक्राइब टू अवर चैनल एंड क्लिक द बेल आइकन फॉर द लेटेस्ट अपडेट। आज हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस। आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को हम एआई बोलते हैं एंड दिस इज़ द फर्स्ट क्लास ऑफ आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। एंड आज हम जो करेंगे वो यूनिट 1 स्टार्ट करेंगे। व्हाट इज़ इंट्रोडक्शन टू एआई, दैट इज़ इंट्रोडक्शन टू आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस। First of all, it's a huge request from my side to please go through with the subscribe button and please like, share and subscribe our channel so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well that what we have to cover up here. एंड अदर देन दैट हम लोग कंप्यूटर नेटवर्क की भी क्लास कर रहे हैं और वेब टेक्नोलॉजी कंप्लीट कर चुके हैं अभी लास्ट, एंड रीजनिंग भी कवर अप कर रहे हैं. सो इफ़ यू हैव interested in all these subjects and you can go through with the playlist, you will find each and every subject there. Whatever the subject you prefer, you can just go through with the playlist, and if we had not uploaded the videos on demand of your subject, you can comment it on, we will surely upload that. So now we'll start with the artificial intelligence, that is unit 1 here. First of all, about artificial intelligence, what do you mean by the artificial intelligence, and what were the goals related to artificial intelligence, that what you have to know. So first we'll discuss about the artificial intelligence, and then after that we'll discuss about the goals of artificial intelligence here. So for the artificial intelligence, what do you understand by the artificial intelligence is that you can define artificial intelligence is an area of computer science that emphasizes that the creation of intelligent machines that works and react like human. And artificial intelligence has become an essential part of the technology industry, and that research are associated with the artificial intelligence is highly technical and specialized. The core problem of the artificial intelligence include programming computers for certain traits such as like knowledge, reasoning, problem solving, perception, learning, planning, ability to manipulate and more objects. And this is also a sort of a theory subject. You have to make a notes if you are preparing for your exam, and please go through with that. And other than that, if you had made notes and you don't have cleared concept related to artificial intelligence, you can note it down what you don't know about it, artificial intelligence. The goals of AI. Now we'll discuss about goals of AI, that is goals of artificial intelligence. In the terms of the goals of artificial intelligence, there are the two goals. The first goal is to create expert systems here, that the system which exhibit intelligent behavior, learn, demonstrate, explain and advise its user. The second goal we have is to implement human intelligence in machine. To implement human intelligence in machine, that is a machine is working as intelligent as a human being. We have the intelligence power. So that these were the two goals of AI, that is to create an expert system, and the second is that to implement human intelligence in machine. These were the two goals of artificial intelligence. Now we'll discuss what are the different branches of artificial intelligence, and we'll discuss some of the branches and the progress made in their fields. And this has been asked in the your question paper, and that is has been asked of 5 marks. So where the different branches of AI and a progress made in these fields, like the first is your machine learning, ML. The second is your natural language processing, NLP. Third is vision, and fourth is robotics. So we'll discuss in a different way here, that is different branches of AI that progress made these fields. And that is the first we have is that is ML, and that is machine learning. in the machine learning, if I'm talking about here, in the machine learning, that machine learning is a method where the target is defined and the steps to reach that target are learned by the machine itself by training. And for example, to identify a simple object such as an apple or orange, the target is achieved by the showing multiple pictures of the object and thereby allowing the machine to define the step to identify it, an apple or an orange here. This is what machine learning is all about. And the second different branches of AI we have is your natural language processing. Natural language processing, that is NLP. With regard of it, NLP is defined as an automatic manipulations of natural language like speech and text by the software, and for example like email spam detection, which has improved the mail system. The third we have is your vision. As I told you, you have to make notes while you have gone through with this AI, because there are many things to understood if you are not writing the theory one, but of course you have to write it down all these headings. This is very important. The vision here, that a machine vision captures and analyzes visual information using a camera, analog to digital conversion, and a digital signal processing as well. The fourth we have is your robotics. In the robotics here, the robotic is a field of engineering focused on the design and manufacturing of robots. Robots are used where the tasks are difficult for human to perform. For example, car assembly lines in hospital, office cleaners serving foods and preparing foods in hotel, etc. These were handled by the robotics here. Now we'll discuss, like they had asked you about define the role of the machine intelligence in the human life, and which has been asked of 10 marks in 17 and 18. So please, that is important, you have to go through with that, because 10 marks बहुत होते हैं and कभी कभी 1 मार्क से ही बच्चे पास और फेल हो जाते हैं, तो ये 10 marks है, तो I think that is very important for all of you. And for that I will discuss here, that is the role of machine intelligence in human life. So this has been asked of 10 marks, so this is very important. Now first we understood about the machine intelligence in the human life, and we'll go ahead with the detail as well, the what machine plays an important role in the following areas, in which areas they are playing an important role, that we'll discuss here. So in the terms of it, that is the machine intelligence is the intelligence provided to a particular machine to achieve the goal and the problem in AI, and it is defined as the embedding of intelligence in the machine so that the machine can behave like a human. And in the regard of it, in human life, machine learning solves many problems of the daily purpose of the human, and there are many problems which requires intelligence, such as the complex arithmetic, and which is done by the machine very easily. The machine learning plays an important role in the following areas. The first area we have, and the first area is your learning. In learning, the learning means to acquire new things from the set of the given knowledge or experiences. It refers to the changes in the subject behavior to the given situation brought by the repeated experience in that situation. The second we have is your that is reasoning. In the reasoning here, reasoning means to infer a fact that from a given fact, inferences that are classified as either deductive or inductive, and reasoning is to draw inferences appropriate to the situation. Now we'll talk about the third one, that what we have is your problem solving. Problem solving. In the problem solving, to solve problem means to move towards a goal, and this set of rules are defined, and goals is also defined, which is to be achieved by the using these rules here. Now we'll talk about the fourth one, that is, and the last one as well, that is your language understanding. in the language understanding here, that it means to understand the natural language, meaning a language is a system of sign having meaning by convention, and the meaning by convention is distinctive of language and is very different from natural meaning as well. Now we'll go ahead and move forward with another topic, that is explain the Turing test in detail. So Turing test in detail, that is has already also been asked in many of the examination. Turing test. Okay, so Turing, in reference towards the Turing test here, the test conducted for the computer intelligence is known as Turing test. Okay, and this involves the three participants: the computer, a human integrator, and a human foil. The third is that the integrator attempts to determine by asking questions of the other participant, which is a computer, and all communication is via the keyboard and screen. The integrator may have asked a question as penetrating and wide-ranging as he or she likes, and the computer is permitted to do everything possible to focus a wrong identification, where the foil must help the integrator to make a correct identification. For example, like if a human integrator in a room C is not able to identify who is in room A and or in room B, then the machine processes intelligence. So here we can say that this is room A, this is room B, and where it here it is room C. Okay, so for that we can say here that is this is your here in room C, that a human integrator, and room B human or machine, and human or machine. Okay, and this is all what we can say that is your Turing test. Okay, now in the reference towards it, we'll go ahead with another one, that what we have to discuss is your that is differentiate between human intelligence and machine intelligence. So that is also an important one. Difference between human intelligence and machine intelligence. Okay, so within this human intelligence and that is human intelligence and machine intelligence, we'll discuss the differences, and will discuss more than two, of course. And for that sake, in the terms of the human intelligence, human perceives by pattern, and in the machine intelligence, the machine perceives by the set of rules and data. In the human intelligence, humans store and recall information by patterns, and for the machine intelligence, the machine stores and recall information by using the searching algorithm. Then for the human intelligence, we have humans can figure out the complete object even if the some part of it are missing or distorted. And for the machine intelligence, the machine cannot figure out the complete object correctly even if some part of it is missing here. So here we had discussed about these three differences here. Now we'll discuss about the short note on the foundation of AI. You can say that they had asked you about 5 marks, write a short note on a foundation of AI. And the second question they had asked you is your describe briefly the evolution of artificial intelligence. That has been asked in 1819, and that is of 10 marks. So that we'll discuss in a detail as well. So here we'll discuss about it, the foundation of AI, or evolution of AI. So this has been asked 10 marks, and this has been asked 5 marks in a different examination paper. So foundation of AI will discuss here, that is the foundation of AI has been divided into 7, and they are also subdivided into. So we'll go ahead here. here we'll go ahead, and that is your foundation of AI. Foundation of AI, and that has been divided. The first we have is that is your beginning of AI. So beginning of AI, आपको क्या लगता है कब begin हुआ AI? So beginning of AI is in 1943. Okay, so beginning of AI is in 1943, and here that the concept of AI began around 1943, and AI is not limited to the computer science disciplines but can be seen in various other areas as well. And the second we have is your, that is AI knowledge base expert. AI knowledge based export system that has been introduced in 1970. Okay, so actually beginning of AI has been established in 1943, around 1943, and but the AI knowledge based expert system is in 1970 here. In this, that an AI system often uses a rule based system to capture the knowledge in the form of if and then statement or the decision tree here. With the regard of it here, we have a third one, that is your machine learning. In the machine learning, that is in 1998. In this, there are the two types of machine learning. In the machine learning here, that is there are the two types of machine learning. In machine learning, that has been started in 1998, and there are the two types of the machine learning as I told you about it. And we are the first type is your formal. First, we have your formal, and in the formal here, that the informal type of machine learning is a computer program that learns from experience in respect to some task and increases the performance on the basis of the experiences. The second we have is your, that is informal. In the informal involves that giving computer the ability to learn without explicitly programming the capability. And now we'll talk about the fourth one, that what we have is here, that is supervised learning. Supervised learning, that has been introduced in 2004, and that the supervised learning is based on the giving the correct answer and having the computer mapping inputs to the output. Like for example, it is also of two types. That the first type we have here is your, that is spam filter. In the spam filter here, that the software is trained to learn and distinguish between the spam and non-spam message, for example email filters. And the second we have here is, that is your facial recognition. In this facial recognition here, it is used by the cameras to focus and via photo editing software to tag person, for example Facebook. Now we'll talk about the fifth one, that is this is supervised learning, and that is the fifth one is unsupervised learning. In the unsupervised learning that has been introduced in 2010, and in 2010, where unsupervised learning is the revenge of supervised learning, where the correct answer are known. And for example, the first part for this we have is your clustering algorithm. A clustering algorithm used to find the pattern in the data sets, and then group that data into the different coherent cluster. The second we have here is your market segmentation. In the market segmentation, that targeting the customers based on the regions, likes, dislike, when the consumer makes purchases, etc. This is considered targeted marketing. Now we'll talk about the eighth one, that the eighth evolution of the artificial intelligence, that is, sorry, the sixth one we have, that is the genetic programming. In the genetic programming that has been introduced in 2010, where the genetic programming here, that is an idea that uses the evolutionary process to improve the algorithm. And then now we'll talk about the last that evolution, that what we have is your future of AI. Feature of AI, that is from 2019 onwards, and future of AI that has been introduced in 2019 onwards. And there are many challenges and many that is mimicking a human intelligence, and humans require common sense, that initiative that intuitive but hard to reason rationally. For example, the color of the car, a blue car is blue, so that is the future of AI. Now we'll discuss the application of AI here, which is very important. Application of AI, that is application of artificial intelligence. In the terms of the application, if I'm talking about, so there are many applications that we are using, and there are the future of artificial intelligence as well. In the reference towards the application of artificial intelligence that we have, the first we have is your gaming. In the gaming, that all plays a crucial role in the strategic games such as your chess, poker, tic-tac-toe, etc., where machines can think of large number of possible positions based on the heuristic knowledge. The second we have, the second application we have is your natural language processing. In the natural language processing here, it is possible to interact with the computer that understand the natural language spoken by human. The third application that what we have is your, that is expert system. In the expert systems here, that there are some applications which integrate the machine software and a spatial information to import reasoning and advising. These provides explanation and advice to the users as well. Now I'll talk about fourth one, that is your vision system. In the vision systems here, these systems understand, interpret, and that comprehend that visual input on the computer. Now talking about the fifth one, that is your speech recognition. In the speech recognition, some intelligent systems are capable of hearing and comprehending the language in terms of the sentence and their meaning, while a human talks to it, and it can handle different accents, slang words, noise in the background, change in the human noise due to the cold, etc. In the regard of it, these were the 5 application. Now coming to the next application, that is we having your handwriting recognition. In the handwriting recognition here, the handwriting recognition software reads the text written on the paper by a pen or on the screen by the stylist, and it can recognize the shape of the letters and that convert into a editable text as well. And this was the application. Now the 7th one we have is your intelligent robot. In the intelligence robot, that robots are able to perform the task given by the human, and they have a sensors to detect the physical data from the real world, and they have efficient processor. In that cases that by the human, and they have a sensors to detect the physical data from the real world, and they have an efficient processor, multiple sensor, and a huge memory to exhibit the intelligence as well. So these were the 7 application. The first is gaming, network language processing, expert system, vision system, and then we have speech recognition, handwriting recognition, intelligence robot here. Now we'll talk about here the another one, that is your what is intelligent agent, and describe the basic kinds of agent program that we will discuss here. And in the reference they had asked you about this in the 5 marks question paper as well. Now we'll talk about the intelligent agent. Intelligent agent, an agent that intelligent agent is an autonomous entity which acts upon an environment using the sensor and the actuator for achieving goals. An intelligent agent may learn from the environment to achieve their goals as well. Where we can see that here, that is your environment. This is sensor, and this is effectors. So this is percepts, and it gives out as in the form of action. So environments percept, sensor, and effectors act and give to the environment here. The basic kinds of agent programs. The first we have kinds of agents program. The first we have simple reflex agent. The simple reflex agent. The simple reflex agent are the simplest agent, and these agents take decision on the basis of the current percepts and ignore the rest of the percept history, where these agents only succeed in the fully observable environment. The simple reflex agent works on condition action rule, which means it maps the current state to an action. With regard of it, we have to consider about sort of that is a diagram that I will be showing you, and in the reference towards it, that it acts according to the rule whose condition machines the current state as defined as the percepts as well. Now talking about the second one, that is your model based reflex agent. So in the model based reflex agent, the model based agent that can work in a partially observable environment, and the track with regard of it, the track observable environment, and the track the situation. An model based agent has a 2 important factor. The first we have is your, that is model, and in the model here, that it is a knowledge about how things happens in the world, and so it is called model based agent. And the second one we have is your internal state. in the internal state here, that it is a representation of the current state based on the percept history as well. And these agents have the model, which is knowledge, which is knowledge of the world, and based on the model that they perform section. And even though it keeps track of the current state of the world using an internal model, and then chooses an action as well. In the regard of it, same bias, we'll go ahead with the third one. Before going towards the third one, first we will go to over a simple reflex agent diagram. That is a sort of like and that is agent, where we have a sensor, so this is your simple reflex agent. With this, the agent, in that agent, the sectors sensors goes to what the world is now, and what action I should do now. And then after that it will go to the actuators, and that actuators is gone towards the environment, and that of course responses towards the sensor. This is your condition, action, rules. This is a simple reflex agent. This is simplest reflex agent. Now we'll discuss about the model based agent here, that we have to discuss here, that we have is your this is environment, and for that, after that, here this is your state, that this is your how the world involves, what action do. This is your sensor, this is your model based agent. In this, the first we have here is your, that is the state, and then we have your how the world evolves. It goes towards what the world is, what the world is like now, then what action I should do now. It go to the actuators, and here it is what my action do, and then after that condition, action, rules. So this is a whole typical diagram that is related to the model is agent. Now we'll discuss about the third one, and that what we have is your in the detail, that is your goal based agent. In reference towards the goal-based agent here, refers towards that the knowledge of the current state environment is not only the sufficient to decide for an agent to what to do, and the agent needs to know its goal when describes desirable situation, and they choose an action so that they can achieve the goal. And with regard of it, these agents may have the consider a long sequence of possible action before deciding whether the goal is achieved or not, and for that sake it keeps the track of the world state as well as the set of goals it is trying to achieve, and choose an action that will eventually lead to an achievement of its goal. So here we have a diagram for the goal-based agent. This is environment. Now for that we have state, how the world evolve, then what my action do, then goals. This is agent. So on the contrary, this is sensor, source towards it, and then after that what the world is like now, it goes towards what it will be like if I do action A. Then after that it will go that what action I should do now, and then of course we have the actuators. This actuators goes to the environment, this goes to the what action I have to do, that will be, and for that sake it will goes towards that, even though connected to this as well, and with regard of it, it is connected to both the actuators, and this will be connected to this, and this is the dotted line with this. So this is a Google based AI agent here, with the regard of it that it keeps the track of the world state as well as the set of the goals it is trying to achieve, and choose an action that will eventually lead to the achievement of its goal. Now we'll discuss about the fourth one, and that is your utility based agent. On the basis of the utility based agent here, with regard of it that the utility based agent is the best way to achieve the goal, and the utility based agent is useful when there are multiple possible alternatives and an urgent agent has to choose in order to perform the best action. The utility function maps each state to real numbers to check how efficiently each action achieves the goal as well. Now we'll go ahead with the diagram as well. State, goes towards the how the world evolve, then what my action with this we'll go ahead with what my action do, and then after that we have a goals here as well. And then it is, since there is sensor, it goes towards what the world is like now. Then for that, after that we'll have what it will be if I do action A1. What if it will be like if I do action A, then the another, how happy I will be in such a state. And then after that, what action I do, and of course the actuator. This actuator go to the environment, it goes to the sensor as well. It will be the dotted line as a goal-based agent here. It will go the same, go with the same as well. Then after that it will go to the same as well, and here as well this will go here. So here with this, where we can see that on the basis of the utility-based agent. Utility-based agent is the best way to achieve the goal, and the utility-based agent is useful when there are multiple possible alternatives and an agent has to choose in order to perform its best action. The utility function maps each state to a real number to check the efficiently each action that achieves the goal, and it uses a model of the world along with the utility function that measures its preferences among the states of the world, and then it chooses the action that leads to the best expected utility, where expected utility here. Now we'll discuss more in the detail as well here. Now we'll discuss about related to the agent and agent program. In the agent and agent program here, in the terms of it, if I'm talking about, so what they can ask you, what do you mean by the agent and the agent program, and how do you ensure that the agent program is an intelligent agent program? This has been asked of 5 marks, and where you can answer an agent that can be anything that perceives its environment through the sensor and act upon that the environment through actuators, and an agent runs in the cycle of perceiving, thinking and acting. To understand the agent of intelligent agent, we should be familiar with the architecture and the agent programs. That is your agent equals to architecture plus agent program. Architecture is the machinery that agent executes on, and that it is a device with a sensor and actuator, for example a robotic car, a camera or a PC here. Agent program is an implementation of an agent function here, where agent function is a map from the percept sequence to an action. An agent program is an intelligent agent program if it follows the weak notion, that is your flexibility, interactivity and autonomy, and the strong notions, that is information related states, and that is connotative states and affective states as well. Now we'll discuss about the learning agent with this architecture. Learning agent. In the case of the learning agent here, that a learning agent is a tool of AI that is capable of learning from its experiences, where a learning agent are able to perform the task, analyze, perform and look for new ways to improve on those tasks. Now we'll discuss about the architecture of that is learning agent. Architecture of learning agent. In the architecture of learning agent here, a learning agent that can be divided into the four component as we'll discussed here. So in the reference towards it, that the architecture we have, and that what we'll have to discuss as well. That is the performance standard. Performance standard that goes to the critic. It will give to the feedback, which is goes to the learning element. Learning goal, that is to the, goes to the learning goal, and which will go to the problem generator, and that is your agent. After that we have a sensors. It will go to the performance element. It will go to the actuators, and this will go to the environment. And this will go to the sensors as well. After that, the learning element will go to the performance element, that is your changes. And for the performance element, give to the that is your knowledge, and this problem actuator goes to the performance element as well. So this is all a diagram of related to the learning agent with this architecture. The four components of the learning agent are we have is your, that is your learning element. This is your learning element. In the reference towards the learning element, that the learning element responsible for making the improvement is uses the feedback for the critic on how the agent is doing, and determines how the performance element should be modified in the future. And the design of the learning element depends on the design of the performance element here. And this regard of it, the performance element, that what we have to discuss about, and that is the here it is. In the same case, after that, the four components of learning agent we have, that is your four components of learning agent, that we have, the first we have is your learning element. As I told you about the learning element here, that is the learning element is here, as we had discussed about it. And in this learning element, the learning element responsible for making the improvements, and it uses the feedback from the critic and or how the agent is doing, and determines how the performance element should be modified in the future. Whereas the design of the learning element depends on the design of the performance element as well. Now we'll discuss about the second one, that is your performance element. that is your performance element, and the reference towards it. It is responsible for selecting the external action. Now we'll talk about the third one, that is your critic. In the case of the critic here, that it tells the learning element how well the agent is doing with respect to a fixed performance standard, and it is necessary because the percepts themselves provide no indication of the agent's success. Now we'll talk about the fourth one, that is your problem generator. In the problem generator, that generator is responsible for suggesting the action that will lead to a new and informative experiences, and it also suggests the exploratory action as well. So here with this regard, we'll have to discuss about the characteristics of learning agent. Characteristics of learning agent. That is the characteristic of learning agent. They can ask you explain in detail on the characteristics of and application of learning agent. That the characteristic of learning agent that has been asked of 10 marks in 16 and 17. So the first characteristic we have here is your that is situatedness. The situatedness, when an agent receives some form of sensory input from its environment, it then performs some action that changes its environments in the same way. And in the second one is your autonomy. The second characteristic we have is your autonomy. In the autonomy, this agent characteristics means that an agent is able to act without direct intervention and from humans or other agent, and thus type of agent has almost complete control over its own action and internal state. The third we have is that is adaptability. In adaptivity, this agent characteristics means that it is capable of reacting flexibly to change within its environment, and it is enabled to accept goal-directed initiatives when appropriate, and is also capable of learning from its own experiences, environment, and interaction with the other. The fourth we have is your sociability. This type of the characteristics means that the agent is capable of interacting in a peer-to-peer manner with other agent of the human. Now we'll discuss, these were the four characteristics. Now we'll discuss about the application of learning agent. Application of learning agent. In the case of the application of learning agent, there are 7 applications of learning agent that we have. Is the first is your clustering. The second we have is your classification. The third is your prediction. The fourth is search engine. The fifth is your computer vision. The sixth is self-driving car. And the seventh is your recognition of gestures. Now we'll discuss how to specify the task environment and explain with an example. That is, your piece description is used to specify the task environment, and we will discuss about the piece as well. Now we'll go ahead with the discussion here, that is the task environment. In the task environment here, that is your that piece description is used to specify the task environment, that is piece, and the piece stands for that is performance environment and actuators and sensors. that based on these properties of an agent, they can be grouped, they can be grouped like together, or can be differentiated from each other. Each agent has these following properties that defines for it. The first one we have is your performance. In the case of the performance, the output of which we get from the agent, all the necessary result that an agent gives after processing comes under its performances. The second we have is your environment. The environment, all the surrounding things and conditions of an agent falls in the section and basically consists of all the things under which the agent works. Third we have is your actuator. The actuators, the devices, hardware or the software through which the agent performs any actions or processes any information to produce a result, are the actuators of the agent. The fourth we have is your sensors. The device through which the agent observes and perceives its environment are the sensors of the agent. Like example, let us take an example of the self-driven car. As the name suggests, that is a car which drives on its own and by taking all the necessary decision while driving without any help of the user, that is your customer. On the other hand, we can say that this car drives on its own and requires no driver, and the piece description for this agent will be as follows, like that I has told you about the performance, environment, actuator and sensor. But in the reference towards the car, the performance here, that the performance, the factor for the self-driven car will be the speed, safety, and while driving both the car and the user, time is taken to be the drive to a particular location, the comfort of the user, etc. For the environment, if I'm talking about for the reference towards the self-driven car here, so here with this environment, the road on which the car is being driven, other car present at or on the road as well, and that pedestrians crossings, road signs, traffic signal, etc. So all act as its environment as well. The next is your actuators. So actuators, all those devices through which the control of the car is handled, are the actuators of the car. For example, the steering, the accelerator, brakes, horns, music system, etc. But the sensors here, that all those devices through which the car gets an estimated about its surrounding, and it can draw certain perceptions out of it, and are its sensors. For example, the camera, speed meter, GPS, odometer and sonar, as well as etc. So these were the thing in reference to the self-driven car here. Now we'll discuss about state the various properties of environment. Various properties of environment. So properties of environment, we have a 7 properties of environment here. So in the regard of it, we'll discuss one by one. The first property we have is discrete and continuous. Discrete, continuous. In the discrete and continuous, if there are a limited number of the distinct, clearly defined states of the environment is discrete, otherwise it is continuous. The second we have is observable, partially observable. Observable, partially observable. In the observable and partially observable, if it is possible to determine the complete state of the environment at each time, that point from the percept, and it is observable. So otherwise it is only the partially observable. The third we have is dynamic, static. For the dynamic and static, if the environment is changing for agent action, then the environment is dynamic for the agent, otherwise it is static. The next, the fourth one we have is your single agent, multiple agent. In the single agent and a multiple agent, an agent operating by itself in an environment is a single agent. Multiple agent is when then other agents are present, and other agent is anything that changes from step to step. Now I will talk about the fifth one. Fifth properties of environment we have. that is accessible and inaccessible. So accessible and inaccessible: if the agent's sensory apparatus can have an access to complete the state of the environment, then the environment is accessible to that agent, otherwise it is inaccessible. The sixth one we have is your deterministic and non-deterministic. So in the deterministic and non-deterministic, if the next state of the environment is completely deterministic by the current state and the actions of the agent, then the environment is deterministic, otherwise it is non-deterministic. Talking about the seventh one, that is episodic, non-episodic. In the episodic and non-episodic here, if the agent experiences is divided into the atomic episodes, and in each episode the agent receives a percept and then performs a single action, then the environment is episodic, otherwise it is non-episodic here. So these were the various properties of environment, that is your discrete, continuous, observable, partially observable, dynamic, static, single agent, multiple agent, accessible, inaccessible, deterministic, non-deterministic, episodic and non-episodic. So these were all. Now we'll describe the role of the computer vision in the artificial intelligence. So here we'll discuss about the computer vision. Computer vision in artificial intelligence. So in the computer vision in the artificial intelligence, that has been asked in 10 marks here, that the computer vision is an interdisciplinary scientific field that deals with how computer can be made to gain the high level of understanding from the digital image or a video from the perspective of engineering. It seeks to the automate tasks that the human visual system that can do, and the areas of the artificial intelligence that deal with the autonomous planning for the robotic system to navigate through an environment, and a detailed understanding of these environment is required to navigate through them as well. In the reference towards it, that the information about the environment and the robot could be provided by a computer vision system acting as a vision sensor and providing high level information about the environment and the robot. And in the reference towards it, we can say that the another thing that they can ask you is related to the application of computer vision. Application of computer vision. So in the terms of application of computer vision, there are many. That is your the first application of computer vision we have, that is the automatic inspection, that is image based automated inspection, for example in manufacturing application. The second is that assisting the humans in identification task to identify objects specifies using these properties, for example a species identification system. The third application of computer vision is that controlling processes in a way of monitoring robot, for example on individual robot. And the fourth we have is your detecting events, for example for the visual surveillance. And that is the fifth application we have, is that modeling objects of or environments using the drones that can analyze about climatic factors that leads to a change in vegetation etc. And for example like medical image analysis and the topographical modeling as well. The sixth application of computer vision we have, that is the navigation, for example by the autonomous vehicle or the mobile robot as well. Now we'll discuss about the role of the artificial intelligence in the natural language processing. Role of AI in natural language processing. In the regard of it, this has also been asked of 10 marks. So here with the natural language processing, that is NLP, refers to a AI method of communicating with an agent system using a natural language such as English. And the artificial intelligence provides the computer the ability to accept the spoken words or as dictation, or to follow the voice command by using the software. The third we have is that the AI, that artificial intelligence programs are able to communicate with the human in a natural way, and because the natural language is one of the most important medium for the communication. To understand the natural language, a program needs to considerable knowledge about the structure of the language, including what the words are and how they combine into phrases and sentences. There were the three different approaches for the development of natural language understanding program. The first is that the use of the keyword and a pattern matching. The second is that the use of the combined syntactic, structural, or the semantic directed analysis as well. The third is that the comparing and matching the input to the real world situation. Now we'll go ahead to discuss various approaches. Various approaches in NLP, that is your natural language programming. And here the various approaches in the natural language processing we have. There were the three here, the approaches that we considered about it. The first we have is that is symbolic approach. In the symbolic approach to the natural language processing is based on the human developed regulations and lexicons, and the foundations behind this approach is a generally approved regulation of speech within a specific language, which is materialized and recorded by the expert. The second we have is your statistical approach. The statistical approach to the natural language processing is based on the observable and the persistent examples of semantic phenomena. The models, which are based on the statistic, identify persistence themes through the mathematical interpretations of the large text. By recognizing the trends in the huge sample of the text, the computer system that can develop its own semantic rules that it will use to interrupt the future input variables and the development of the language output as well. The third we have, that is your Connectionist approach. And this, the Connectionist approach to the natural language processing, is the mixture of the symbolic and statistical approach. This approach starts with generally approved rules of the language and converts them to the specific application from input procured from statistical inferences. Now we'll talk about the conceptual dependency. That has also been asked of 5 marks in 16 and 17. That is your conceptual dependency. In the conceptual dependency, the conceptual dependencies, that is CD, is a theory of the natural language processing, which mainly deals with the representative of semantics of a language. Knowledge is represented by the CD, that is your conceptual dependency, is by the element which is known as conceptual structure. The conceptual parsing is a strategy for finding both the structure and the meaning of the sentences in one step. Now we'll talk about the advantages of CD, that is conceptual dependency. Here the first advantages is these primitives involve fewer inferences rule. The second is many inferences rules are already represented in the conceptual dependency structure. The third we have is the holes in the initial structure that helps to focus the point is still to be established. Now we'll discuss about the disadvantages of CD. That is conceptual dependencies. Disadvantages we have, that is knowledge must be accomplished into the fairly low level primitive, and that is the second disadvantage is it is impossible or difficult to find the correct set of primitive. The third is that a lot of the inferences may still be required. The fourth disadvantage is we have that the representation that can be complex even for the relatively simple action. Now we'll discuss about what is the role of NLP in AI. NLP and AI. here that illustrates the various phases of NLP as well. Those here with the role of NLP we had discussed about it, and there are the five phases that what we have to discuss. That is your phases in phases involved in NLP. So here the phases involved, the first is your lexical analysis, and in the lexical analysis that what we have to discuss, and that is your synthetic analysis passing, semantic analysis passing, discourse integrations, and pragmatic analysis as well. And with regard of it, that what we have to discuss here. But the phases involved in NLP will discuss in the next coming classes, and in the second class of AI in the detail. And first of all, it's a huge request from my side to all the viewers, please go through with the subscribe button and please like, share and subscribe our channel, so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. As of now, that we have to discuss in the artificial intelligence first unit is your introduction, that is introduction to artificial intelligence, foundations and history of artificial intelligence, application of artificial intelligence, intelligent agent, structures of intelligent agent, computer vision, natural language processing as well. The second unit we have to cover up with the introduction to search, that is your introduction to search, searching for solutions, uniform search strategies, informed search strategies, local search algorithm and optimistic problem adversable search for the games alpha beta pruning as well. The third unit, that's knowledge representative and the reasoning, propositional logic, theory of the first order logic, inferences in the first order logic, forward and the backward chaining, resolution, probabilistic reasoning, utility theory, hidden markup models, that is HHM, and then of course that is your Bayesian network as well. In the unit 4, that is your machine learning, supervised and unsupervised learning, decision trees, statistical learning models, learning with the complete data, naive Bayes model, learning with the hidden data, EM algorithm, and reinforcement learning as well. In the unit 5, what we have to cover up is your pattern recognition, introduction, design and principles of the pattern recognition system, statistical pattern recognition, parameter estimation method, principles, component analysis, that is PCA, and the linear discriminant analysis, that is LDA, classification technique, that is nearest neighbors rule and bias classifiers, support vector machine, and K, that is means clustering as well. That all we have to discuss about in the next main classes. It's a huge request to all of you, please go through with the subscribe button and please like, share and subscribe our channel, so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. And all those subscribers, those who had subscribed our channel, thanks to all of you, and all those viewers, those who had not subscribed our channel yet, please go through with the subscribe and channel, and please support us as you have supported us till now. And thank you, hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and give your suggestion on a comment box. Please like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you.